Hello everyone, we are the students of International Migration course at Pasha Shahir University, and this is the Dig Deep Migration Story podcast. My name is Ramadhan Ali, and today I will be talking about an interesting asylum seeker's story, which represents more than 8,000 cases in Canada as an Iraqi asylum seekers. Today, we are having Haytham Al-Haji. Al-Haji is an Iraqi young man, 27 years old, from Al-Mosul city. He used to have a normal and stable life with his family. As a computer science graduate student, he was dreaming of having his own business through promoting a company for creating websites and cyber security. But in 2014, it was the turning point for his life, especially when ISIS invaded Iraq and Mosul particularly. At the first 2 months, Al-Haji and his family didn't want to flee the war-torn zone. Ultimately, Al-Haji and his family forced to move towards Kurdistan region. After Al-Haji and his family settled down in Duhok city in Kurdistan region, he couldn't find any job opportunity, and he started to feel overwhelming sorrow and grief on his life as a result of scarcity of job opportunities. At the meanwhile, one of Al-Haji's friends, who is living in Canada for 10 years, contacted him and told him about the lifestyle there and the job opportunities as well. So, Al-Haji started to think of migrating to Canada, since his dream of founding a new company is vanished and scarcity of job opportunities. Basically, these two were the main push factors to migrate. In addition to that, the unstable security situation in his country of origin. So, according to the push and pull factors, Al-Haji decided to migrate to Canada as a personal decision of him. Of course, the first glance, his family refused the idea of migration, but later on, he persuaded them with his logical arguments about opportunities and challenges. So, as a first step of migration process, Al-Haji agreed with a group of smugglers to get him to his country of destination through the sea. In return, he gives them $10,000 as a smuggler waits. While they are in the boat and they have exceeded the allowed number of passengers, 2 of the passengers in the same boat fell into water and drowned due to high waves in the sea. This was one of the terrifying stories that Al-Haji faced during his illegal migration. 3 days and nights Al-Haji spent in the boat before he finally arrived at his country of destination's borders. When he reached the borders of Canada, another trip was waiting for him. A half day of walking on foot in order to pass the danger zone in which the military was present. Finally, I am standing on the ground that I may live a secured and peaceful life, said Al-Haji. As soon as he crossed the borders with the help of smugglers, he gave them $10,000. The first step he did was phoning his friend, who was encouraging him to migrate. So, it's time to overcome the difficulties through his friend. Mustafa, the loyal friend of Al-Hajji, picked him up from his location to his house. He went with Mustafa to his house using Mustafa's car to take a rest after a long struggle and hardship he faced during his journey. The day after, Al-Hajji went with his friend Mustafa to apply his papers as asylum seeker. 2 years later, Al-Hajji is officially accepted as a migrant in Canada, and he learned English language, and he had his own home and own car. Additional to that, he had a notable job. So, Al-Hajji is living a happy life there. Every time I video him, he is telling me about his new lifestyle. He actually recommends people who are facing a terrible and unstable life in their country of origin to migrate and have a valuable life. Otherwise, Al-Hajji said, and I am quoting, "I wouldn't leave my country if they didn't force me." Continuously, when I contact my friend Al-Hajji in Canada and I ask him to tell me more about his situation there, he always answers, "I am living a happy life and I feel safe in all aspects, but I am concerned about my family in Iraq." In fact, I cannot blame him. He is right in this matter. The current situation in Iraq doesn't help to live in a comfort and a safety like the rest of the world. There are current security issues in addition to the economic crisis and lack of services, especially through the pandemic. So we are facing a crisis in terms of security or public services that the country is witnessing. When he compares the lifestyle in Canada in contrast to Iraq, there is a huge difference in terms of public services, transportations, education, the healthy system. He says that, "I will never think of going back to my country of origin if the situation keeps going like that." Finally, it was a story that summarizes the suffering of thousands of asylum seekers like Al-Hajji. That's all from me, and thank you for listening.